Today I want to talk about the new Assassin's Creed game. I don't know what this video is, by the way, just to start off with. No idea what this is meant to be. But I just want to talk about Assassin's Creed because I haven't really spoken in depth about Assassin's Creed in a long time on like a whole new channel that no one that knows me now knows anything about, even though it wasn't really that long ago. It's been a long time since I've talked about the franchise, basically. And it's one of my favourite franchises. I mean, the last thing I spoke about was like a Assassin's Creed series that is apparently still meant to be coming out. I don't fucking know. I don't know when it's coming out, and I don't really care. I don't want it to happen because I just know that they're not going to do it right because people just don't seem to understand what Assassin's Creed is meant to be about, and I don't know why. But anyway, enough about that. That's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about the Assassin's Creed Mirage gameplay trailer and kind of what everything about the game is even going to be. Now, I'll admit, I'm a little bit out of the blue. I'm a bit out of the darkness. I'm in the darkness, sorry, in terms of Mirage. I know nothing really about the game. I don't know what it's about. I didn't finish Valhalla, but I do know the ending. I just never finished it. I couldn't. It was just way too much. I couldn't keep focused on it for long enough to keep playing it all. But what do I think of Assassin's Creed Mirage? It looks to be going back to the norm, which I'm very happy about. There's no stupid level-based stuff. You can explore anywhere that you like, and it's really easy to kill the enemies, which a lot of people might have troubles with and might turn them off, but that was one of my biggest loves of the Assassin's Creed franchise. I could just focus on the story and what was going on, rather than, you know, be sat there having to take about 5 hours trying to kill every single guy that is just way too powerful for me to handle in a specific area that I've really want to travel to for the past like 2 weeks and haven't been able to because I just haven't been able to get there. It really annoys me that Assassin's Creed went to RPG. A lot of people loved it. I can't do it. I can't stand it. I have a good couple of big negatives, and one of them is the voice acting. I do not understand for the life of me what is going on with the voice acting in Assassin's Creed. It went from some absolutely beautiful performances in Assassin's Creed 4 with Edward Kenway and his wife, and all of that, and it was such great acting, and it just really drew me into the story, and it's why it's one of my favourite games. And when I spoke about it on another channel that I made about Assassin's Creed Black Flag, one of my biggest positives was the voice acting and how all of the actors gave their absolute all, and it just made the game's story so amazing. But in Mirage, it just still reminds me of RPG. The way that they talk is so robotic. There's no emotion. You can't get into the characters. You can't love the characters because they just seem like robots. They're in a game. That's it. They're not in history. They're not marked in history. They're just there.
For more than 2 years! You promised me!
You left! When I needed you the most!
But you had me! What keeps you wondering? Do I not make you happy?
I'm so close, Caroline! Please! Just let me do this!
I have found dwellings in 3 districts that are most unassuming. Ibid and Rebecca have arrived from Alamut and set off to El Abyssiya and Karch. I will make my way to Sharqiya shortly.
And I will join Rebecca in Karch, where corruption is as common as the arid air. See Abu Ja'far about some things he's been working on. Then come find us.
The voice acting is abysmal. It's shit. And I feel like they've gotten some good actors in, but they've just made them go robotic, and they've just like fucking Bayek. Not Bayek. That's not his fucking name. Basim, go to this place and kill this man. And as a token of my appreciation, I will give you my love. Like, is that interesting to you? Do you care about that character that I just made up? No. No, you fucking don't. Because they're so robotic. Every single sentence, it looks like it's been cut. The voice acting has been cut. It's not one big thing. It's been cut up into little sections. There's no cutscenes. In that entire playthrough, there was no cutscenes. How am I meant to get into a story where there's no, you know, there's no emotional depth. There's no emotional characters. There's no good characters. There's nothing there. That's one of my biggest problems, and it's really annoying. Another big problem that I have is the stealth still doesn't feel right. Actually, no, the entire game still doesn't feel right to me. It doesn't feel Assassin's Creed. It doesn't feel like you are just this creature of the day that even still feels like it's nighttime because they can just move about so slyly and freely and majestically, and they're so silent and sneaky, and they can do whatever they want because no one ever knows they're even there in the first place. That's not really there neither. You hide in a bush that's so obvious that you're there, in an outfit that is just so it's so over the fucking top, which to be fair it always was, so I can't really complain about that, but it is still an outfit at the end of the day that is very, very over the top and just isn't really needed for especially that fucking area. Like, my god. Like, you knew with Altair, he wasn't really wearing fucking thick robes like Basim looked like in that place. Well, like, look, he's in... Oh, actually, that's quite thin. Nah, fair enough. That's quite thin. But, like, yeah, it still looks quite RPG here, and there's just something off. And I'm comparing it to the last game that I think was amazing, which I think is Syndicate. Obviously, a lot of people are going to think it's probably Black Flag, or even, like, fucking Revelations, but they're obviously wrong. We all know they're wrong. There's a lot of people who are like, oh, it went down bad after Ezio left. No. It went bad after Origins. It did. Unity wasn't great, but it did still have an amazing story and amazing characters. The jump of consoles, Ubisoft weren't ready. They just weren't ready. Origins was fine. Odyssey, I will complain about that game for the rest of my fucking time as a human being. Let's get on to the positives now. I feel like I've been ranting for a while. I don't really know what this video was meant to be, but I quite like this kind of me just chatting, so I don't mind. Anyway, let's get to the positives, because I do surprisingly have a lot of positives. Number 1, no leveling system. Amazing. That's great. Number 2, no RPG. Amazing. I love that. One character. They can't change to a different gender. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I actually loved that part of Valhalla, but it didn't work with the context of the story. I do quite like how they've got one character and they can play one character's story and how they work, and that's just one person, one gender, Basim, and that's it. That's quite good, because then you can focus on that character a lot more, and hopefully they do that. The gameplay actually looked pretty sweet. The stealth mission looked quite fun, and I honestly would look forward to doing something like that. I think that's actually all I've got, really, isn't it? I don't know what this work in progress thing is over here. I'm not sure what that is, but I'm sure there's something really, really intriguing in that, and it does look quite stealth-focused. It also looks beautiful. The place looks... They've definitely taken the time out to really do this world and make it look amazing. It looks beautiful. There's people around compared to Odyssey and Valhalla. There's places you can climb. There's many places you can climb. That's quite nice. You don't have to get a grappling hook like you did for Syndicate, which I did like, but it was way too far into history where assassins don't work like they used to. But I did quite like how they tried that, but it didn't work. I do quite like the fact that it does remind me a lot of Assassin's Creed 1, which is great, because Assassin's Creed 1's story is beautiful. It's absolutely majestic. It's perfect. And I am also really curious as to how the story goes, but in terms of the gameplay, it does look a lot more positive than negative, but the negatives are quite large negatives in my eyes. And that's all I've got to say about the gameplay, really. A lot of the old games was so well because we gave a shit about the characters. Even Assassin's Creed 3, which even I'd say was pretty boring. The characters, I cared about the characters. I cared about what happened in that story because they were good characters. Haytham was amazing. Connor, even though a lot of people thought his acting was bad, I still loved the character and I still wanted him to win. Charles Lee was just absolutely a beast and he was really good. And I hated him, which kind of works. But like in this, and like even Valhalla and Odyssey, and maybe even Origins to an extent, I didn't care about the characters. I didn't care if they lived or died. And that's been one of the biggest problems of Assassin's Creed in my eyes. But anyway, that is all I'm going to... By the way, I've been just wiggling this about pretty much this whole video. This video is a fucking shambles. But yeah, that's basically all I've got to say about this wonderful franchise and hopefully this great game. But we will never know for sure if it's going to be a great game until we play it. So, yeah, I hope to see you guys in my stream on hopefully Sunday. Hopefully it comes out before Sunday. And I'll be playing Assassin's Creed Rogue. I've done from Revelations to Rogue. I've actually got marks down, but I didn't do from 2 and below. From Brotherhood and below. I know some of my favourite ones. So that sucks a little bit, but who cares? But anyway, I hope you found the joy. Make sure you follow if you haven't, subscribe if you haven't. Be really, really appreciated. And follow me on Twitch as well. Subscribe to my main channel where I do a lot more skitty stuff and a lot more funner stuff on there. And I'll see you guys around. See you.